I was really hoping that this was not the first time, or not the way that we'd be talking about our Washington Wizards for the first time this season, or actual season. But yeah, we're currently on a 9-game skid right now after losing to the New York Knicks tonight, 106-134. And I think it's pretty safe to say, since the start of November, the Washington Wizards are capable of playing 2.5 quarters, and then maybe every once in a while they'll give you 3 quarters. Because I'm not too sure what it is. I'm not sure what's going on with us right now. But since those Hawks wins, while there's games where you obviously will get some effort, it almost seems like we just, there is a destined portion or a destined point in every game we play or have played of recent where we just absolutely, and I mean absolutely, fall on our face. Because nearly every game we've played, we have been in it going into half. Or at least a good amount of them. We've been in it going into the half. And then somewhere down the line, we just fall on our face. And I'm really just not understanding where it all comes from. Because obviously, I get it. It's the Cooper Flag season. We want to lose. We want to tank. We want to try to be able to, have our hand in the top 4 picks this year. The Cooper Flags of the world, the Nolan Traores, the Ace Baileys, the, what's his name, Dylan Harper's. Awesome. I would love for us to be able to add another young piece to this team. But it's like, at what cost? Because I know me, being a Wizards fan, being a sports fan as a whole, I don't like watching tanking basketball. Now, even if we were losing games and we're being competitive, I'd be perfectly fine with it. But it's like of recent, we haven't even been competitive. The Washington Wizards right now, as the title says, the Washington Wizards are bad. Like, the Washington Wizards are really bad right now. And those first 4 games of the season really made you think, maybe this team might come out and compete just a little bit. Maybe this team, might come out and compete just a little bit. Now, obviously, I'm going to get to the positives at the end of this video. For example, the fact that, we have one of the more interesting young cores and probably the best 2024 rookie class out of all the rookie classes, but we'll get to that at the end. That's just, personal bias, personal opinion. But I think this team is going to find a way to have a worse record than last year's team, which only went 15-67. And to pay homage to, the fact that the Pistons, Cade Cunningham kind of called us out last time when we lost to them. You just don't want to be that team. And right now, with the Wizards now being on a 9-game skid, if you were to actually go and look at the Wizards' upcoming schedule, I would honestly say, realistically, the only games that I think we have a chance of winning before we get to around the we might make history for the wrong reasons area is this Bulls game, which is on my birthday, which is November 26th. Maybe this Hornets game, if we can make do with LaMelo. And then beyond that, it would just be another Bulls matchup on New Year's. Because right now, I think we are in prime position to be able to literally beat the record for the most losses in a row in a single NBA season. But just to touch on a few things that I kind of am not too fond of, but I'm pretty sure will change by the end of the year. I think the Wizards have aged out of the Kyle Kuzma phase. The games where Kyle Kuzma was not on the court, we looked pretty competitive. Even with some of the games at the beginning, when he was on the court, we looked pretty competitive. But ever since Kuz has come back, ever since Kuz been back on the court, we just don't look like a team that is trying to play for anything per se. And even then, with Kuz on the court, Kuz is having a pretty off year from what we've seen from him in these last 2 seasons. It's a little bit frustrating when you actually look at the fact that as far as him, like just stat-wise, solely just stat-wise, his numbers are down. His scoring is down. His rebounding is relatively similar. His playmaking ability is down because he's literally down 2 assists. Not to mention that his shooting splits compared to last season, or even compared to the season before that, are much worse than what they were. And obviously, Kyle Kuzma, age-wise, doesn't really completely fit what the Wizards are trying to look for, because realistically, we're looking for maybe trying to get to a window of maybe within the next 2 to 3 years we're competing. Come then, Kyle Kuzma is going to be somewhere from 31 to 32 years old. And you never know with the human body just how much time you really have as far as, competing. So I think, honestly, we should move on from Kyle Kuzma. Send him somewhere where he can compete, because while I still love 𝙈𝙤𝙢𝙢𝙢, I don't think it's going to work in Washington, just because his team is horrible right now and he's not making the horribleness, dissipate. So I'd rather send him off somewhere where he can actually compete, and we can try to begin to create a treasure chest of draft picks, because I think we have a lot of players that a lot of people are going to be interested in this year. Just to quickly touch on Jordan Poole, we're going to do this one fast and straight through. Jordan Poole is having a really good season. I'm actually enjoying watching Jordan Poole basketball again. I think Jordan Poole is going to be a part of this Washington Wizards team whenever we are truthfully pushing for real playoff contention. Jordan Poole looks really good. The Warriors made a mistake when they traded, bro. Clear and simple. Now, as far as other trade candidates, because I think honestly at some point the fire sale is going to happen for this Washington Wizards team. It's bound to. But yeah, Jonas Valanciunas, he's been playing serviceable. I'm pretty sure at some point somebody will look to trade for him. But honestly, I don't think it's a situation where it's like, bro, Big Val, I like him, but it's kind of conflicting, because on one end I thought we were bringing in Big Val to be able to help mentor Alex Sarr, when I've been seeing a meme, right, that kind of hits home with Alex Sarr pretty heavily, in my opinion. Alex Sarr, someone said something along the lines of Alex Sarr needs to stop trying to play like Kevin Durant and needs to start trying to play like Giannis. And that hits home, obviously, because Alex Sarr right now is currently a 22% three-point shooter on 4 attempts per night, nearly 5 attempts per night. But I feel like in the first season, it's hard to try to force a player to mold into something that your franchise wants, compared to just trying to let that player feel it out and see exactly who he wants to be. So right now, we're trying to figure it out. I feel like the Val trade was kind of pointless. The Val signing was a little bit pointless. But if come the deadline, we can flip him, we get something for him, cool. Malcolm Brogdon in his first 2 games back has looked absolutely horrible. He looks like he has no idea what his purpose is out there on the basketball court, but we're going to leave that at that. He's only had 2 games. I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt. He'll figure that out. Outside of that, maybe we decide to move on from Corey Kispert. I like Corey Kispert a lot, but with how the team looks right now, I wouldn't put it past anybody, because Corey Kispert, he's probably a hot commodity on the trade block, just because a lot of people want a guy that's on a really nice contract that can shoot the ball. It's that simple for Corey Kispert. Really, this team really looks bad. We're horrible defensively. Offensively, we pick and choose when exactly we want to come out and play basketball. It's a really rough watch sometimes, especially at the end of games. Like I mentioned, at the start of games, we look good, and then it just falls down a cliff. But then you also have those games where it's like it just never looked good. It's really hard to watch Wizards basketball right now, and I love this team to death. But holy, am I thinking this is about to be like a 13-win season at this rate, because we don't look like we could beat a freaking varsity basketball team, and we don't look like we can beat Mount Verde, or Mount Verde, is that how you say it? Mount Verde High School, if we wanted to. But to talk about a little bit of a positive, right? Start with 𝙈𝙤𝙢𝙢𝙢𝙚. 𝙈𝙤𝙢𝙢𝙢𝙢 has played very, very well today. Not today, but throughout the season. Honestly, 𝙈𝙤 has been a guy that I was really confused about last year, but to see him somewhat begin to evolve into the player that he is, being a lot more confident with his jump shot, being a lot stronger when it comes to taking the ball to the basket, or even, finding some smidge, just a smidge of playmaking chops. I feel like compared to watching the 𝙈𝙤 that we're watching right now, compared to watching the 𝙈𝙤 that we watched last season, obviously it's a sophomore jump, of course, but 𝙈𝙤 looks extremely serviceable. Like, the most improved idea was real, and I still think it is real. He's basically averaging 15 points this year, 6 rebounds, 2.5 assists with a steal, and nearly a block a night. Compared to the 𝙈𝙤 we saw last year, that is absolutely phenomenal. And I mean absolutely phenomenal, with a 64% true shooting percentage. 𝙈𝙤 is playing very, very good. Not to mention, all of his shooting splits this year have gone up. I have nothing but high praise for 𝙈𝙤𝙢𝙢𝙢 this year. I'm ready to see him back on the court already. Outside of that, I think we have the best 2024 rookie draft class. I mentioned this earlier. I'm going to stand on that statement. Kyshawn George, when he was starting, looked like a very serviceable player, man. And we thought Kyshawn was just going to be a project. I could have sworn Kyshawn was going to be playing for the Capital City Go-Go for maybe 2 seasons and then mess around and phase out to the point where nobody even knows who he is anymore. No one even knows who he is anymore. And he has pleasantly proved me wrong. So far on the season, Kyshawn George is averaging practically 9.5 points, 4.5 rebounds. I'm rounding up. Obviously, I got to round up on my boys. 3 assists, and he is currently shooting 35% from the field. Not the greatest, as well as 27% from the three-point line, which is also not really the greatest considering that's on 6 attempts per night. But Kyshawn has his games. He's still a great defender. Obviously, the foul trouble is still there like it was in the Summer League. He almost seems like he can be a little flaming torch-like. When he gets hot, but that three-point shot is a lot more promising than I had thought it was going to be in the Summer League, and I think that is a very positive trait. Not to mention, he has all of the intangibles that are needed to be a really good wing in this league. Do I feel like he's going to be able to, pick up on that winning culture style of basketball this season? Heck no, because this team is atrocious, abysmal, probably going to be the worst Wizards team I ever watch in my lifetime. I pray. But I think Kyshawn can be a very good piece that we have somewhere within in the process. I'm not too sure where, but somewhere, because I don't know if he'll be like a starting piece for us, because honestly, I feel like, at least I'm trying to envision it. I feel like at the very least we have, I want to say 3 pieces set in stone, as far as maybe they'll be those pieces. One of them is going to be one I talk about later. Jordan Poole being at the 2 or 3, and then Bilal being at the, Bilal being at the 3, Jordan Poole being at the 2. I feel like that's how it's going to line up ultimately, but I don't really know. I like them 2 a lot as far as the Wizards are concerned when it comes to us trying to compete for a playoff spot. I like those 2 a lot. But on to the next rookie, obviously. Alex Sarr. It's hard to say anything positive about bro when it comes to the offensive end. It really is. But Alex Sarr on the season, he's averaging 10 points, basically 6 rebounds, 2.5 assists on abysmal shooting splits. He's another case of he's shooting 22% from the three-point line on nearly 5 attempts. As a big man, like people said, why are you trying to play like Kevin Durant when you could just be playing like Giannis? When in reality, Alex Sarr, I feel like the shot is there. He's confident with it. It's just the issue is that it's just not falling right now. It's just not falling. I feel like he really needs to expand his bag, and then offensively he should be able to evolve. I don't think Val is the type of guy that can mentor Alex Sarr into being the type of offensive player he really wants to be. Like, realistically, I think if Alex Sarr had like a Jeremy Grant on his team to help him learn how to, be that type of, power forward, that type of center or whatever it be. I feel like if Jeremy Grant or a Jeremy Grant-esque player was the guy trying to mentor Alex Sarr, I feel like he'd be way better off on offensive end. Way better off on offensive end. But until we, obviously get to see something like that, we're going to be stuck watching the abysmal Alexander Sarr offensive performances, which when they're bad, bro, they're bad. But we don't talk about them because us Wizards fans are trying to be happy about something, right? Yeah, let's try to be happy about something. On top of that though, his defense has been really good. I saw a lot of stats about him being the youngest blank as far as shots blocked are concerned. I think on the year, total wise, we are 13 games into the season. He currently has 27 blocks on the year. Do I know where that ranks at all? No, but I'm assuming, let's look. All right, I looked it up. Right now, Alex Sarr would be number 4 as far as blocks in the season. So, I mean, that's a positive stat. Yo, him be having 48 blocks already in the year is absolutely crazy. Absolutely crazy. But Alex Sarr has the 2nd most blocks of any rookie, following only Donovan Clingan, which is a positive stat to see because they were both defensive guys that people thought were going to be, pretty serviceable defensive anchors, air quotes. But, I mean, at least the one thing that we already saw or already thought Alex Sarr was going to be good at, he seems to be doing in a pretty serviceable margin. The guy who I think could be a potential Rookie of the Year candidate, though, the rookie I think that has been by far the best Washington Wizards rookie, and I think is really one of the more focal point pieces that we have on this team right now. Yes, this includes over Alex Sarr, is Bub Carrington. Bub Carrington has looked great. He's currently averaging 10 points on the year, 4.5 rebounds, nearly 5.5 assists, shooting 44% from the field and 37% from the three-point line with 80% from the free throw. Bub has been really good. Bub has really looked like that summer league Bub Carrington that we saw, that is confident with the basketball, that is trying to make these plays despite now going against these real NBA players, can be very, very decisive with the ball in his hands. Obviously, you know, I would love for him to, I guess you could say, be assertive every game, because there's some games where he'll take a good amount of shots, and there's other games where he'll defer to our guys, and I'm like, I really just want him to get his shots up sometime. He's trying to get people involved. He's trying to get some shots up, but like tonight with this Knicks game where he got 16 shots up, Bub, just get your shots up sometimes, man, because at this point we want to be able to see you develop. We know you can pass the ball. We know you can facilitate. There's only but so much on this team right now. We know that the passing game is there for you. We really do. You're leading the team in assists for a reason. We appreciate that. I just want you to have that scoring prowess, honestly, because it's there. I think you're the only rookie right now that doesn't have a 20-point game on his team, but you are by far the best rookie that we have, and I really, really do appreciate that. Bub Carrington has been really good, and he's my pick for Rookie of the Year. Obviously, I know there are rookies that are playing better than him, respectfully, but he's my pick for Rookie of the Year. This is going to be a long season, boys. Wizards fan, we might want to saddle in and be a little bit scared, because boy, I don't know how bad this team's going to be. Pretty sure I said it earlier in this video, but I don't think we're getting 15 victories. I don't even think we're going to win 15 games this year. What's y'all over-under on 13, man?